Hello everyone, DevStyleR is here, the #1 tech influencers community, and we are here with Mr. Ramaswami, Chief Operating Officer at VMware. Nice to meet you.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Mr. Ramaswami, innovation has become the buzzword of decade, especially in the worlds of business and technology. What is your understanding of innovation?
Look, innovation is about ideas and doing new things in every aspect of business. Typically, for a tech company like us, we think about innovation in the technical context, which is about R&D, new product concepts, new ideas that can transform markets in a very significant way and deliver huge new value in the market for our customers and provide potential disruption. Now, but beyond that, innovation extends to every aspect of how we do business, how we hire a diverse, talented group of people for the company, where we locate our offices, how we do sustainability as a company, for example, how we do our business practices. So innovation is a holistic 360 view on everything, every aspect of how a company does business. Now, of course, at VMware, we've always had a long history of innovation here, and we pride ourselves on being a very innovative company. Our whole DNA, if you may call it, is around a history of a company that solves very difficult problems that people wouldn't even think could be solved. And in the process of doing so, we create new opportunities, right? So good companies solve problems. Great companies create new opportunities and disrupt great marketplaces. And if you look at our history, that's exactly what we've done.
Okay, can you tell us what's the process of creating innovations on VMware? I mean, the culture, the team, the motivation?
Yes, absolutely. We have, these teams get put together with a very clear mission and set of values around the company. And I think that's very important because everybody who works at VMware we try to get the same kind of values and the kind of people and team behavior. So we have the set of values that we call EPIC 2. And it stands for execution, passion, integrity, customer focus, and community focus. And our people are very much driven by that, right? And out of that, right, just comes this relentless drive for innovation. And it's across every part of the organization. For example, within our own, if I look at the R&D organization, which I run, we have a very systemic set of processes for how we foster innovation at every level, right? It's done together within our R&D teams, combined with our office of the CTO. We have both informal and formal programs. So at every level, right? First of all, we make sure at any point of time, we are driving enough new business initiatives and new product initiatives, not just taking the products we have and continuing those forward. And of course, newer areas, newer businesses typically require a lot of innovation. We have an internal set of programs that drive innovation. I've worked at many enterprise companies, and this is the only technology company that I've worked at where we have an internal conference for R&D. It's called Radio, right? Research conference. So we get engineers from across the company. We get about 1,500 engineers. They actually have to submit papers. This year, by the way, the acceptance ratio of those papers was like 10%, which is, it's harder to get a paper published at Radio than at many international conferences. So very high bar for innovation. And these are all concepts that are, could be completely new, nothing to do with what we're doing today, or they could be related to products and services that we're building today. And then, when people come up with new ideas and they want to spend some time focusing on these ideas, we provide the ability for them to do it. We have a number of programs in the office of the CTO where we can actually start and incubate new things, right, for some amount of time. And at some point, we have names for these things. We call them, for example, accelerator projects, where we take a small number of people, put them together, they work on an idea, and maybe in 6 months they get to some place, and we decide whether we want to continue with it or we don't, right? And not all ideas see the light of day. And of course, we have hackathons, we call them borathons, where people get together, and those are phenomenal because we have global teams around the world that come together. And we give them, a couple of days, and they are out there, and they actually have to create and program and demonstrate the concept, right? It can't just be a paper exercise. And it's amazing what gets created out of these things. And a lot of interesting stuff. Some of it is fun, and some of it is really innovative. I was just at one of these hackathons, and I'll give you a couple of examples. So one of them, by the way, was very simple, nothing to do with what VMware was doing. There was this group of people who felt very passionate about saving turtles. Turtles, okay? So they, in 2 days, by the way, so there's an agency, an international agency that actually attaches GPS collars to turtles and sets them free in the ocean. So within 2 days, these guys created a satellite, linked to the satellite feed, and they were able to display the migration patterns of these turtles. Right? In 2 days, they did this project. Nothing to do with our business, but it's just the creativity that comes in terms of how you go about building something like this in a very short amount of time. Now, of course, that has nothing to do with our business, but we have many of these projects actually lead to stuff that we end up taking forward. So a very rich, strong culture of how we foster innovation programs across the workplace.
Thank you for this answer. This was very interesting. I was wondering, how do you combine all these technology areas, cloud, data, security, AI, blockchain, in order to create a successful business solution?
Yeah, by the way, I mean, you sort of gave the big buzzwords of technology today, right? And if you look at, I mean, we have products in all these areas, right? We started out as a company that was known for server virtualization, but really we are about virtualizing the entire data center and transforming the end user experience. So as we look at this technology, what we try to do is to take the technology pieces that we do in all these areas and translate them into what the customers need, right? So if you look at our solutions, right, we have, for example, today we have server virtualization, we have storage virtualization, we have network virtualization, we have automation. We put all of these solutions together and deliver a hybrid cloud. Okay, so the teams, engineering teams across the company come together, we build these solutions. So for example, we help our customers build a private cloud in their data centers. We also help them extend that into the public cloud from an infrastructure perspective, delivering consistent infrastructure, consistent operations. And we do that by combining the technology that all these teams build together into solutions. And these solutions are engineered solutions, right, that meet what the customer wants to do. Because the customer wants to go deploy a cloud, right? Yes, they don't want to be in the business of saying, I want to take, every piece part, put it together and figure out how to do it, right? And it's our job to make that happen for them. And so that's what we do. So in the hybrid cloud, for example, so we use, we take all these building blocks and put together a hybrid cloud solution that extends out into the public cloud. And we are, by the way, talk about business innovation. We are not, we partner with Amazon, for example. At one point, we said Amazon is a big enemy, right? AWS is the #1 enemy. They said that VMware is legacy, right? And today here we are, right? We have a business partnership together where we provide a VMware solution on AWS, which is a huge benefit to the customer. So we're not afraid to do innovation at a business level, right? Think of partnering with somebody who you had just, said was your biggest enemy. So we are happy to do those kind of things too. So that's what we do in the cloud. Okay, the other big piece, for example, if you look at software-defined networking, transforming networking and security, is a huge area of focus for our customers too. And we are taking an innovative approach to how we do security, for example. So people, typically approach the security market as saying, well, we've got to go protect and defend against attacks. And we're constantly trying to figure out who the new attacker is and what they do, right? That's a very difficult battle for us to win because attacks keep changing. And the attackers only have to win once, right? If they come in once, they create a lot of damage. The defenders have to win every time, right? They have to defend every time. Because if they miss once, there's a huge damage, right? That's very difficult to do. And that's why security is such a difficult thing. We are trying to create a very innovative approach to security by saying, look, let's not focus on the attacks as much as what are we actually running inside our environments. Let's understand what we run, and let's work on protecting that set of things that we run and making sure that we don't allow anything else to happen, right? So it's much easier for us to understand what we have in our environment rather than trying to figure out every new attack. So it's a completely different way of thinking about security, right? And that's how we think about security. And the last piece, of course, is end user engagement and experience, where we have a lot of solutions coming together to help that with our customers. Now, you mentioned a couple of other things too. You mentioned AI ML and you mentioned blockchain as well. So on blockchain, by the way, we have a research project that's now translated into a business proposition. We are now actually we have a blockchain solution that we are trying to figure out how to take to market. It's fairly early days for us, and it's a little different from all the other products and solutions that we build. Now, ML, machine learning and artificial intelligence, that's everywhere. It's across our whole portfolio. We are using ML and AI for multiple applications across our entire portfolio, right? For example, one of the first things is our customers themselves are using ML AI applications. And we want to enable them to run that in our infrastructure. So that's a whole area of focus for us on ML. Another is us using ML to improve our products and provide benefits to our customers. Today, for example, we have a proactive service called Skyline, which looks at what our customers have deployed in their environments with our products. We gather telemetry data from the environment, then we apply machine learning tools on top of the data to help our customers say, hey, you know, you're likely that something is going to fail in this environment. You might want to take some remedial actions. So that's a good use of AI ML to help our customers avoid issues in their environment. Right? So using AI ML to improve how our products work and how our products can be supported. That's another big thrust of AI ML as we in our own products.
In terms of innovation, how does the virtualization market develop in your opinion, and how does VMware doing in its major segment?
Yeah, so I covered a little bit of that earlier, which is we started out with virtualizing servers, and that's how VMware got its start. We virtualized the x86 processor, something that people thought was very hard to do, very impossible to do, and we did that, and that resulted in this enormous efficiencies of being able to build data centers differently, just in terms of carbon emissions and in terms of what we've done from a sustainability perspective on that. Think about the fact that you're able to consolidate and use far fewer servers than you would otherwise do. Phenomenal innovation. So that is the first step in virtualization. But now customers are focused on virtualizing every entity in the data center. Any resource that's a physical resource can be virtualized. So if you look at the data center infrastructure, it's compute, which is what we started out with. The next thing is storage. Right? Today we have virtualized storage, or we call it software-defined storage. Okay. Then we have networking. Again, networking is done in software, right? Completely virtualized networks. And these networks now connect everything, right? Your applications and your data and your users are everywhere. They're not in one physical location. They're not sitting in the data center. They're in the cloud. They're in the branch offices, in the edge, and your network needs to be virtualized and done in software so that you can connect all those applications. Right? So now the next frontier in virtualization is about virtualizing all the elements of the infrastructure and delivering it as a solution not only for on-prem data center applications, but also in the public cloud, in the edge, right? For telcos, right, who are going through a massive transition. So all of those, right? So the on-prem data centers, the private cloud, the hybrid cloud in the public cloud, going out to the edge, and of course telco networks. So we talk about these four clouds, right? Private, public, edge, and telco.
Okay, so what's the future of the cloud? What do you think about the future of decentralized solutions?
Of decentralized solutions,
yes.
You said? Distributed solutions, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, everything is being decentralized.
Yes.
Everything, right? There's no such thing. The notion of putting everything within the walls of your data center is long gone, right? Because your applications, now you want to run your applications everywhere, right? Some applications will continue to run in traditional data centers. Other applications run in the public cloud. Some are going to be delivered as SaaS type applications. Look at email today. Vast majority of email today is consumed as SaaS applications, right? Whether it be Outlook with Office 365, whether it be Gmail, right? Whatever it may be. And then increasingly applications are also moving towards the edge. And that it could be anybody, right? It could be a bank who wants to run applications in their branch offices, right, to serve their retail customers. It could be an oil company that wants to do remote drilling and look at running applications locally to understand whether the drill site is good or not, right? So there's just a ton of applications that tend to be now moving also towards the edge. And as Internet of Things start proliferating, then again, you're going to have a lot of localized data collection, data gathering, and filtering of application, of data, right? And more applications in compute moving towards the edge. So yeah, so all of this, we are living in a distributed world. And by the way, the users that access those applications are also everywhere now, right? You can do pretty much anything from a mobile phone today. And you can access your applications. In fact, one of the things that we do as a company is we provide a uniform way to access all your enterprise applications, wherever you are and whatever device you're in. Right? It could be an iOS phone, right? It could be an Android phone. It could be a Chromebook. It could be a Mac. It could be a PC. It could be wherever, right? And you have this consistent, same look and feel, being able to access all these applications wherever they're running. Right? So yeah, we are absolutely living in a distributed world. And security, right? We have to secure all of these things in a distributed world, which is again why we need to change how we think about security.
I was curious, could you share your recent findings in edge computing and what are the soonest moves we will see on the market?
Yeah, so we talked again a little bit about that here. So edge, again, applications are moving towards the edge. For both traditional type of deployments, but as well as the newer emerging use cases. I've heard all kinds of stories about edge applications, right? So for example, an electric car comes in, right? Self-driving cars come in, they dock into a local station somewhere, and there's a lot of data that they've gathered, right? And that data needs to be extracted out there and processed. And not everything is just going to go to the cloud. It's just too much of data. Right? So you're going to process the data locally, and you're going to then potentially apply some new ML rules, and you're going to go download that software back into the car, and then they're going to go off, right? That's just a wild, futuristic-looking use case, but there's a ton of applications being now done in edges, right? And what that means is edge computing is becoming a bigger reality. And not all of these are about human interaction or just applications. They're also connecting to Internet of Things, right? With devices coming in and being managed, right, and assimilated into the infrastructure. So for all these reasons, edge computing is growing. And from our perspective, we look at the edge as a natural extension of the cloud or of our on-prem, hybrid cloud or our data center. And the ability to provide an edge computing environment, in fact, a full environment, right? Think of it as like a tiny little data center that is managed, is automated, right, and can be deployed at scale, because you're going to have lots of edges that need to be managed. So that's what we are doing as a company.
Okay, and what is the Bulgarian team contribution to leading products and services at VMware?
Yeah, so Bulgaria is our biggest R&D site in Europe, and it is one of our 3 biggest R&D sites worldwide. Okay, Palo Alto in California, India, and Bulgaria are our big research sites and R&D sites. So the Bulgaria team has developed very strong competency in everything that we do in the cloud. Okay, so we have all our business units have teams here. The majority of them have teams here, and Bulgaria is contributing and in many cases leading product development for many of our products. For example, some of our cloud automation solutions were built entirely led by teams built out of Bulgaria. Right. So from our perspective, for us, it's a key innovation site for us, key R&D site for us. We continue to grow the team here. We're investing very strongly into the team. The team has grown now, and they continue to grow. We hope to be adding another 500 people to this team. They're already about 1,000 plus people right now, and we're adding another 500 people over the next few years. And we continue to grow and invest in the team. They're a core, part of our R&D organization.
Okay, recently VMware Bulgaria has been awarded with Investor Class A by Bulgarian Ministry of Economy. What are your intentions for growth here?
Yeah, it kind of jives very nicely with what I just said. So the fact that we're significantly investing in Bulgaria in terms of R&D dollars and building the site and bringing talent in and growing and developing the talent was of course recognized by the government here. And us getting the Class A status allows us to continue, right, and making those investments and continuing to build up Bulgaria. So our commitment is to add another 500 people here over time. And again, these are, like I said, people who are going to be working on core R&D projects in the company and leading core R&D development for the company. So we welcome the opportunity to do more here. We want to make use and bring in the abundant talent that's available here in the market, and build best-in-class, world-class products and solutions out of Bulgaria.
Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you guys. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.